There are moments when you know exactly what you need to do, but still you can't make yourself do it. You know the steps, you know the actions, you can see the end result, but your feet stay planted. The task remains untouched. Days pass. The opportunity slips away. But what if I told you that the problem isn't motivation? What if I told you that the issue lies deeper? That the root cause of your hesitation is not the lack of willpower, but your mindset. Stoic philosophy teaches that action must come first. The clarity follows movement, not the other way around. We wait for motivation to strike. We wait for the perfect conditions. But those moments are fleeting. They come and go, and if you wait for them, you will never move. The truth is simple. Action precedes clarity. Taking the first step uncovers the path forward. Every step, every movement reveals more of the journey. Every action eliminates doubt and replaces it with knowledge. You don't need to wait for confidence before you start. You build confidence through action. Action is the key to unlocking potential. It is not motivation that brings you success. It is your willingness to act, even when you don't feel ready. Think of the greats who have come before you. Thomas Edison did not wait for inspiration to perfect the light bulb. He worked relentlessly, taking countless steps forward, with every failure bringing him closer to success. Henry Ford did not wait for the automobile industry to prove profitable. He took action, reshaped an industry, and changed the world. The successful do not wait for motivation to move. They move, and motivation follows. So why do we hesitate? Why do we stand still when we know what needs to be done? Because fear and doubt linger at the threshold of every great endeavor. They whisper to us, what if you fail? What if you're not good enough? What if things don't go as planned? Fear is a liar. It thrives in the unknown. It grows stronger the longer we hesitate. But when we take that first step, when we act in the face of fear, the grip of hesitation weakens. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. It's about acting, even when you're unsure, even when the path isn't clear. Because once you take action, the path begins to reveal itself. Action is the antidote to fear, but not just any action. It is deliberate action, fueled by clarity, guided by principle. The Stoics believed in the power of choice, in the ability to decide how you respond to life's challenges. Your response is not dictated by circumstance, but by your inner clarity. When you choose to act, you choose to create change. You take control over the only thing you can truly control: yourself, your mind, your effort, your attitude. So why wait? What are you waiting for? The world does not wait for you to feel ready. It moves forward, and if you do not act, you will be left behind. The Stoic doesn't wait for the perfect moment. They take action in the moment they have. They do not wait for the path to clear. They make the path by walking. Every time you hesitate, you give away your power. Every time you postpone, you feed your doubt. Every time you avoid the uncomfortable, you strengthen your fear. But the moment you step forward, the moment you take action, everything changes. Because you are no longer at the mercy of your feelings. You are in control. Action does not guarantee success, but inaction guarantees failure. It is in the act of trying that the real learning begins. It is through action that clarity emerges. When you act, you shift from passivity to power. You move from hesitation to momentum. You move from confusion to clarity. But it all starts with one decision: to act. And that decision is yours. You do not need anyone else's permission. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need certainty. You just need to move. The rest will follow. The world will tell you to wait. It will tell you that the timing is not right. It will tell you that you need more information, more experience, more courage. But the truth is, the more you wait, the further you move away from your goals. The more you hesitate, the longer your success will take. The Stoic knows that life will never be perfect, but they also know that action is their choice, and that is the one thing that will always bring them closer to their true path. They act not because they are certain, but because they are committed to their vision. They act not because they are fearless, but because they have decided that inaction is not an option. So ask yourself, what action can I take today that moves me closer to my goal? What can I do now to overcome the hesitation that is holding me back? And then, take that first step. Because once you start moving, you begin to create the momentum that will carry you forward. Success is not about what happens to you. It is about how you respond to what happens to you. It is not about waiting for everything to fall into place. It is about moving forward, even when things seem uncertain. Life will test you. It will challenge you. It will make you question your path. But it is in those moments of doubt that your true strength is forged. Not in the easy moments, but in the difficult ones. The Stoic philosophy teaches that resilience comes not from avoiding struggle, but from facing it head-on, from taking action even when you are unsure of the outcome, from deciding despite the obstacles that you will keep moving. Because the moment you stop moving, you begin to stagnate. You begin to lose momentum. You begin to feed your fears instead of your vision. The greatest obstacle to progress is not the challenge itself, but your decision to hesitate. When you hesitate, you feed doubt. When you wait, you give away your power. When you avoid your potential. The Stoic understands that action is the only way forward. It is the key to breaking through resistance. It is the pathway to growth. And it is a daily practice. There is no perfect moment to act. The perfect moment is now. The time to move is not when everything aligns, but when you decide it will, and when you move, even in uncertainty, you will begin to see progress. You will begin to see that action creates clarity. Action forces you to find solutions. Action makes you better. Action makes you stronger. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start with what you have. Start with what you know. And as you move, more will be revealed. More opportunities will open up. More clarity will come. And through every step, you will build the momentum that takes you to where you need to go. Not because the world gives you permission, but because you decide to go, you decide to move, you decide to act. This is Stoic philosophy in its truest form. Not in waiting, not in fear, not in hesitation, but in action, in courage, in consistency. So what will you do today? What step will you take to move forward? Even if you don't know exactly where it will lead. The journey is not about perfection. It is about progress. And the only way to make progress is to start moving. There will be times when it seems impossible. Times when every step feels heavy. Times when doubt creeps in and whispers, "What's the point? Why bother?" But it is precisely in those moments that you need to act the most. Because action is not about feeling ready. It is about choosing to move even when you are not. This is a core teaching of Stoic philosophy. To act not when everything is aligned, but to act when everything is uncertain. To step forward, not when the path is clear, but when you have decided that you will create the clarity with every step you take. It is easy to act when you feel motivated. It is easy to act when things are easy. But true discipline comes when you act in the face of resistance, in the face of fear, in the face of uncertainty. When you do this, you break the hold of doubt. You dismantle the stories you tell yourself, that you need more time, more preparation, more certainty. The Stoic does not wait for the perfect conditions. They make the conditions. They know that the path to progress is paved with action, and the more you act, the clearer the path becomes. Every time you take action, you build confidence, you build resilience, you build momentum, and with every action, you move closer to your goals. But here's the secret. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to have the full picture. You don't need to know exactly where it will lead. You just need to start. You just need to make the decision to act in the face of uncertainty. Because what action does is create opportunities. It opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. It creates progress where there was none. It generates the energy you need to keep going, even when it feels hard. The world will tell you to wait for signs, to wait for motivation, to wait for inspiration. But the Stoic knows that waiting is a trap. Waiting keeps you stuck. Waiting keeps you powerless, so act now. Take the first step. Do it imperfectly. Do it with doubt. Do it with uncertainty. But do it. Because once you begin to create the momentum that makes success inevitable. And the greatest success of all is the success of the mind. The success of the decision to take control of your own path and to move forward no matter what. The moment you decide to act is the moment you reclaim your power. Because action does not require perfection. It requires courage. It requires discipline. It requires faith in the process. The Stoic philosophy teaches that it is not the result that matters most. It is the act of moving, despite the uncertainty. The moment you take a step forward, you are no longer a spectator in your life. You are a participant. You are the creator, and it's in that process of creation that you discover your true strength. Most people wait for the perfect time to act. They wait for the stars to align. They wait for the right moment, the right conditions, the right circumstances. But the Stoic knows better. The perfect moment will never come. The right conditions will never arrive. Waiting is the enemy of progress. So, the Stoic acts, not because the time is right, but because they have decided that now is the time. This is where growth happens. Not in the moments of comfort, but in the moments of discomfort. Not in the moments of certainty, but in the moments of doubt. Every step you take, despite the fear, despite the resistance, is a step towards who you are becoming. It is the difference between staying stuck and moving forward. Action builds character. It builds resolve. It builds your ability to handle whatever comes next. And every time you step forward, you build momentum, and that momentum leads you closer to your purpose. It's not about what you achieve in the end. It's about the courage it takes to move, even when everything inside you tells you to stop. Even when the world says it's not possible. Even when you feel like turning back. The Stoic philosophy teaches that your power lies in your ability to act, to move forward despite the odds, to stay true to your path no matter how difficult the journey may seem. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for everything to fall into place. Start now. Start with what you have. Start with the knowledge that action itself is the key to progress. Each action you take, whether small or large, builds your confidence, your discipline, your ability to overcome fear and doubt. The path will not always be easy, but that is where growth lies. It lies in the discomfort, in the challenges, in the moments when you choose to act when everything in you wants to do nothing. That is the power of action. That is the essence of Stoic philosophy. The path you walk will not always be easy, but it is your path, and that makes all the difference. Most people try to avoid discomfort. They try to find shortcuts. They try to run from the challenges life throws at them. But the Stoic knows better. The Stoic understands that growth only happens when you are willing to endure, when you are willing to face what is difficult and not turn away from it. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow. Every obstacle is an invitation to build the strength you need to keep moving forward. But this requires a shift in mindset. It requires you to stop seeing difficulty as an enemy and start seeing it as a teacher. When you embrace challenges instead of running from them, you stop being at the mercy of external circumstances. You begin to shape your own character. You begin to build resilience. And with resilience, you find the power to keep going. Stoic philosophy teaches that the things you cannot control should not control you, and one of the greatest things you cannot control is the pain and hardship that comes with life. But what you can control is your response to it. You can decide how you will react. You can decide how you will move forward. And this decision is where your true power lies. The path you walk is not defined by the ease of the journey, but by your ability to stay on it, no matter the challenges, no matter the setbacks. Because the Stoic does not give up. The Stoic does not shrink back. The Stoic keeps going no matter how hard it gets. It's in the moments of struggle that you see who you really are. It's in the moments of pain that you build your strength, and it's in the moments of doubt that you find your courage. So do not shy away from the difficult. Do not fear the unknown. Embrace it, welcome it, and keep moving forward, because the greatest victories are not won in comfort but in challenge. And when you face life with this mindset, when you approach every obstacle with the confidence that it is only an opportunity to grow, you become unstoppable. Your journey becomes one of constant evolution. You build not only the external success you seek, but the internal strength to endure anything. That is the path of the Stoic, not a path of ease, but a path of purpose. A path where challenges are not feared, but embraced as the forge that shapes the best version of yourself. You are not here to avoid discomfort. You are here to master it, because discomfort is the soil in which strength grows. It is the fire in which your character is forged. The world will test you. It will challenge you in ways you cannot predict. It will push you to your limits, and most people will shrink back. They will look for the exit. They will seek the path of least resistance. But the Stoic knows better. The Stoic understands that life is not meant to be easy. It is meant to be lived with courage. It is meant to be faced with strength. It is meant to be met with a mind that is clear and a heart that is steady. Every time you choose to act in the face of discomfort, you build your resilience. Every time you decide to move forward, even when you are unsure, you grow your confidence. Every time you decide not to run from the struggle but to stand tall in it, you build your character. Stoic philosophy teaches that what happens to you is not what defines you. It is how you respond to what happens to you that shapes the person you become. When faced with adversity, you have a choice: to retreat into fear or to step forward with courage. When faced with pain, you have a choice: to let it break you or to let it build you. The Stoic does not run from discomfort. They embrace it. They endure it. They use it to grow. Because the greatest growth comes from the hardest challenges. And the hardest challenges are the ones you face with the Stoic mindset. So when the world pushes you and you feel the weight of doubt, when the obstacles seem insurmountable and the road ahead is unclear, that is when you must stand firm. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's necessary. This is the path of the Stoic. The path that does not seek comfort but seeks meaning. The path that does not shy away from struggle but welcomes it, knowing that through it you become the person you are meant to be. And once you begin to walk this path, you will never look at discomfort the same way again. You will see it not as an enemy, but as a tool that sharpens your mind, that strengthens your will, that forges your character. This is not about avoiding pain, but about finding purpose within it. This is not about fearing difficulty, but about embracing it. As the greatest teacher you will ever have, you do not need to be in control of everything. You only need to control yourself. This is one of the most freeing realizations you can have. The world will try to pull you in all directions. It will try to make you believe that you are at the mercy of external circumstances. But the truth is, you are always in control of how you respond. Stoic philosophy teaches that true freedom comes from within. It comes from the ability to choose your response to everything that happens to you, not to react impulsively, not to be driven by emotions, but to respond with clarity and purpose. You cannot control the world. You cannot control the weather, the actions of others, the twists of fate, but you can control how you meet them. This is where your true power lies. It lies not in the ability to control everything around you, but in the ability to control yourself. When the world grows chaotic, when emotions rise, when pressure mounts, the Stoic stays steady. Because the Stoic understands that their peace does not come from the external world. It comes from their own mind, it comes from their own heart. And this is a skill that can be cultivated. This is the power of Stoic philosophy, the ability to remain centered, to remain clear, to remain focused on your purpose, even when everything else is swirling around you. So stop seeking control over things you cannot change. Stop trying to force life to fit your expectations. Instead, focus on what you can control. Focus on how you respond. Focus on how you think. Focus on how you act. And in doing so, you will find peace. Not the kind of peace that comes from external circumstances, but the kind that comes from within. The kind of peace that remains even when the world is chaotic. The kind of peace that comes from knowing that you are the master of your own mind. And this peace is not fragile. It is built on discipline. It is built on practice. It is built on the steady, consistent application of Stoic principles. And once you build it, it becomes unshakable. So when life throws its challenges your way, when things don't go as planned, when people let you down, you will know that you can face it with grace, because your peace is not dependent on them. It is dependent on you. This is the path of the Stoic. A path that does not seek control over everything, but seeks mastery over oneself. A path that does not expect the world to be perfect, but learns to live in harmony with it, no matter what comes. You are not the sum of your circumstances. You are the sum of your choices. Every moment is an opportunity to choose what kind of person you want to be. Every action, every thought, every word is a reflection of who you are and who you are becoming. Stoic philosophy teaches that you are defined not by what happens to you, but by how you choose to respond. It is not the event that shapes you. It is your reaction to the event. It is not the challenge that weakens you. It is how you meet the challenge. Life will give you all kinds of experiences. Some will be easy, some will be difficult, but all will teach you something. And every moment is a chance to learn and grow. The Stoic does not blame the world for their struggles. They do not cry out in protest when things go wrong. They understand that the only true power they have is the power to choose their own response. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy. To understand that your mind is the only thing you can truly control. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions are yours alone to govern. And when you understand this, you stop giving away your power to external forces. You stop allowing circumstances to dictate how you feel. You stop reacting to the world and start responding with purpose. Every decision you make is an act of self-mastery. Every time you choose to stay calm in the face of stress, every time you choose to rise above the noise, every time you choose to stay true to your values, instead of reacting to external pressure, you build your inner strength. You stop looking for others to change. You stop expecting the world to treat you the way you want. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions to begin living your life. You begin to see the power of your own choices. You begin to realize that every moment is a chance to act in alignment with your purpose. Every thought is a chance to cultivate clarity and focus. Every breath is a chance to practice peace. This is the way of the Stoic. The Stoic does not look for validation from the world. They do not need anyone else to approve of their choices. They do not need the world to bend to their will. They simply choose to live with integrity, with purpose, and with an unwavering commitment to their own values. And when you do this, when you live this way, you create a life that is unshakable. Not because it is free from challenges, but because you have become someone who meets those challenges with calm, with clarity, with purpose. The world will tell you that success is about achievement, about reaching the top, about being seen, about being admired. But the Stoic knows that true success is not about outward recognition. It is about inner peace. It is about living a life in alignment with your values, regardless of what others think. Stoic philosophy teaches that success is not measured by what you accumulate or how others view you, but by how you handle the challenges of life with grace, with integrity, with discipline. The Stoic does not measure success by wealth or fame. They measure it by character, by the strength of their mind, by the steadiness of their emotions, by the clarity of their purpose. And when you live this way, when you live with a commitment to personal growth and to the principles that matter most to you, you become truly successful. Not because the world acknowledges your success, but because you are at peace with yourself. This is the path of the Stoic, the path that is not focused on external achievement, but on internal alignment. The path that does not seek to impress others, but to become someone who is worthy of respect. regardless of whether anyone is watching. The Stoic is not concerned with being admired. They are concerned with being true to themselves. They are not concerned with winning applause. They are concerned with living a life that is worthy of applause even if it is never given. So ask yourself, what does success mean to me? Is it defined by external recognition? Or is it defined by my ability to stay true to my values and to live in a way that brings me peace? The Stoic philosophy teaches that success is found in the quiet moments of decision, in the moments when no one is watching, in the moments when you choose to act with integrity, even when no one will notice. And when you live this way, you find that the success you've been searching for has been with you all along. It was never about the external accolades, it was about the peace you found in living authentically. It was never about what others saw, it was about how you saw yourself. In life, you will encounter moments of hardship, times when things don't go your way, times when obstacles seem insurmountable, when everything you've worked for feels out of reach. But these moments are not your enemy. They are your opportunity. Stoic philosophy teaches that the difficulties you face are not to be avoided. They are to be embraced, not as obstacles, but as stepping stones. In the face of adversity, you do not shrink back. You rise, you act with purpose, you act with clarity. The challenges are not there to break you. They are there to build you. They are there to strengthen your resolve, to sharpen your character, and to refine your vision. It is not the challenge that defines you, it is how you meet it. The Stoic does not let circumstances control them. They control themselves. They choose how to respond. They choose to act with integrity, with patience, with wisdom. Every challenge you face is a chance to practice Stoic philosophy, to practice patience in the face of adversity, to practice calm in the face of chaos, to practice acceptance in the face of frustration. You are not here to avoid the storm. You are here to learn to dance in the rain, to learn to move forward, even when the world is not as you wish it to be. When the winds of difficulty blow, you do not bend. You stand firm. You stand rooted in your values, your discipline, your clarity. This is the power that Stoic philosophy offers you. The power to remain true to yourself no matter the external circumstances. The power to act with purpose even in the most challenging of times. So when you are faced with difficulty, when things don't go as planned, ask yourself, how can I rise above this? How can I use this moment to grow? How can I remain grounded? In my values, in my discipline, in my purpose? The answer is within you. It always has been, and it always will be. And when you act with that clarity, that conviction, that inner strength, you will realize that no obstacle can truly defeat you. You are the master of your response. You are the creator of your path. And nothing outside of you can take that power away. You are not the product of your past. You are the creator of your future. Every moment you live is a moment you shape. Every decision you make is a step toward the person you are becoming. And the only person who can determine who that is you. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we are not defined by what happens to us, but by how we respond to it. It is not the hardships that break us, but our response to them. It is not the setbacks that hold us back, but our decision to stay stuck. The Stoic knows that they have power, not over what happens in the world, but over how they meet the world. And this is where their strength lies, not in reaction, but in deliberate, mindful action. In every moment you are choosing how to think, choosing how to act, choosing how to respond, choosing to be the person you want to be, or letting the world choose for you. Every time you react in anger, every time you react in fear, every time you allow the world to shape your mood, you give away your power. You let the external world control you. You let your circumstances define you. But when you choose to respond with calm, when you choose to respond with wisdom, when you choose to remain steady, in the face of chaos, you take your power back. You take ownership of your life. You take ownership of your decisions. You take ownership of your destiny. This is the freedom that Stoic philosophy offers. Not freedom from difficulty, but freedom from the need to control everything. Not freedom from hardship, but freedom from letting hardship define you. It is not the world that shapes you. It is how you respond to the world. And when you choose your response with clarity and purpose, you become the master of your own life. There will be moments when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel unsure, when you feel like giving up. But in those moments, remember that you are not alone. Every person who has ever lived has faced challenges. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced adversity. The difference between them and others is not that they never felt fear, not that they never felt doubt, not that they never wanted to quit. The difference is they chose to keep going. They chose to rise above their circumstances. They chose to act with purpose no matter how they felt. This is the Stoic way, to act with purpose, not because it is easy, but because it is right. To live with clarity, not because the path is clear, but because you have decided it will be. To remain calm, not because there is no storm, but because you have learned to weather it. So the next time you feel doubt creeping in, the next time you feel fear rising, the next time you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, remember this: you have the power to choose. You have the power to respond. You have the power to act with purpose, no matter what life throws at you. And when you make that choice, when you choose to act in alignment with your values, when you choose to remain calm, when you choose to keep moving forward, you step into your true power. And nothing, not fear, not doubt, not hardship, can take that away from you. This is the path of the Stoic, the path of action, the path of clarity, the path of self-mastery. And when you walk this path, you become unshakable, not because you are perfect, but because you are steady, not because you are fearless, but because you are resilient, not because everything is going well, but because you have learned how to remain calm in the face of everything else. You are the creator of your future, and your future is shaped by the choices you make today. So choose wisely, choose purpose, choose clarity, choose peace. That is the Stoic way, and that is the life you are capable of creating.